Why do so many people get confused about business as mission organizations? Because there's three very different and distinct types that we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about the fastest way to identify if a business as mission organization is all talk and no experience. What's the smartest way to get involved with a business as mission organization without wasting years of your life? So by the end of this video, we want to help you more effectively navigate the business as mission ecosystem of organizations, avoid some common traps and pitfalls people fall into, and help you identify which organization is going to bring you to the future that you desire the most. The term business as mission was popularized by organizations that, let's just be honest, they cared more about gaining access to a country than they did about demonstrating the glory of God in the marketplace. There's a terrible divide between the sacred and the secular work, and unfortunately, a lot of people in our past, our forefathers or founding fathers, have said, hey, don't get distracted by the business and make sure you have time for ministry. You ever heard that before? It's because they have a separated and segregated view that your work is not worship to God and that your work can't actually minister to people and be a blessing to people in the marketplace. They don't realize that those relationships are the tip of the spear for how you develop the impact that you want to have in that community. It's kind of common sense, right? People you spend 40 hours a week with, you're hiring them, you're solving problems with them. I mean, you're showing your cards and the issues that you're having with your own faith. I mean, business is a really vulnerable place to get to know people and for people to get to know you if you let it. So in the space, over the years, there are three primary types of organizations that I want to teach you about in this video. Type number one is what I'm going to call a sending organization. An organization that's a ministry that wants to send people around the world to do business as mission. That's going to be your first type. This is where the term first originated, we would say, in modern language. But then the second type of organization is a business network. There are networks of businesses that are running all over the world. Some are local, some are regional, some of them are global in scope and in reach. So there are business networks. That's the second type of organization. And the third and final is a newer kind of organization on the scene that I like to favor this description. They're called capacity builders. And it's just like it sounds. They're there to train and build capacity. Sometimes they're connected with a network, but the hallmark of a capacity building organization is they care a lot about the process and an excellent platform to train people so they go from one level of execution and effectiveness to a whole nother level of execution and effectiveness. So that's capacity builders as another organization for you to know. So when you're looking for business as mission organizations, you should be asking yourself, is this a sending organization primarily? Do they have a business network? And how good are they at building capacity? So I'm going to give you some very practical questions that will help you find out who you should run away from right now and who you should keep talking with and go deeper. Okay, so for sending organizations, here's the first question you can ask. How many people have you sent that are doing business overseas? And they'll give you some number. It might be somewhat impressive, maybe smaller, and then ask the follow-up, okay, cool, how many of those people have companies with more than 10 employees and maybe that are even profitable or in a healthy business state? How many would fall into that category? And many times you're gonna hear a number that might start in the hundreds, and then you're gonna get down to, wow, more than 10? Okay, well, maybe it's only 6 or 4. Or you're going to see the number drop off real drastically, and that's an important thing to know about that organization. Maybe they're good at starting and placing people, but then they're not that good at helping grow them. Which goes to my second question for the sending agency. How do you train and prepare people to be good at business before they go? Do you have any specialized training with capacity builders or other partners that are really good at business? What do you do to help people launch out? That's a great question to ask any sending organization. Then the third question you want to ask is to interview a few of the people that have been doing business as mission in that organization. See if you can get some kind of a Zoom call to connect with them and talk with them on the other side of the world. And the question you want to ask is, how much do you feel supported and encouraged to operate the business? And is there any times where you feel like maybe people are saying, hey, the business is distracting you, or hey, the business is really not showing any spiritual fruit or things like that? get into some of those questions, because whatever reality they're experiencing, that's how this organization is probably going to treat you. All right, so now we're moving on to business networks. And so here's the first question you can ask a business network. It's kind of an obvious one, but you want to start to ask, what are the requirements to be in the network? Some networks are really focused on a certain type of entrepreneur or a certain type of business. So the first question is, what are the basic requirements to get into the network? And then you want to think about the next question. What are you actually getting as a network member? What does the life of the network look like? Is it just a directory and maybe a Slack group or kind of a dead email list or newsletter? Or is there events? Is there places to meet up? Is there opportunities to have iron sharpening iron and to learn from other people in the network? This is where you want to say, what is your network known for? What are you guys really good at? And how do your members benefit being a part of the network? Which leads me to the third question to ask your network, which is, hey network, what do you think you guys are known for? Like, what do you feel like your network does better, like do a little humble brag, better than anybody else? Because where they kind of want to focus their energy, whatever they say is probably going to be a big part of the value that their members are experiencing. So focus on it. Obviously, you can interview people in the network just like we talked about before and see if that's actually happening. But ask them which events and things they cherish the most. And the third type of organization is what I'm going to call a capacity builder. These are organizations committed with serious, deliberate training to get you ready to do business as mission and to prepare before you go and to operate effectively while you're out there. More than just like a conference with a couple little workshops, I'm talking about like a structured 12-week training period, or some of them even have a 9-month training process or peer cohort models. You got to think about how is this organization committed to building my capacity? And let's look at where this comes up in the Proverbs, because I think you're going to like what you see as far as what happens when you invest in skilled and excellent work. So here's Proverbs 22, and you can see it says in verse 29, "Do you see a person skilled in his work? He will stand in the presence of kings. He will not stand in the presence of the unknown." Notice the word skilled there. What we're talking about is someone who's actually really good at what they're doing. You don't just accidentally become really skilled at work, do you? Right? You don't just wake up and accidentally you're an expert in your industry. Malcolm Gladwell has said it takes 10,000 hours to perfect a craft and to become truly a master at your craft. And so a capacity builder is it's probably not going to put in 10,000 hours, right? But is going to try to speed up the process of you refining your craft and thinking how you can level up in business as mission. And particularly, again, not just like a 5 or 6 video series overview. Those are good to kind of whet your appetite. But what you'll realize is to become truly excellent, you got to invest some serious time. Maybe you got to go work for that company who is the best of the best in your home country, or the area where you can go and learn the trade from someone who's really faithful and skilled, right? But when you work with a capacity builder, something like even Frontier Operators, I'll be biased, that's the organization we started, we're serious. We run a 9-month program to develop and train people how to become excellent, both spiritually and personally, and also from a business acumen standpoint. So you can have the ability to not just be an employee in a business as mission company, but you can be an operator, like helping lead a company, or even be the visionary entrepreneur. So I strongly encourage you to find a capacity builder that is, even before you think about starting a business as mission, going to prepare you to show up with excellence and deliver when you're there. So you can't really get serious about picking a business as mission organization until you really know what are the roles to play that every business as mission needs to succeed. And in fact, I've got this video here that will help you unpack which of the 3 roles might be best for you, and we can continue the discussion over there.